Alright guys, welcome back to Taco Puppy, and today I'll be doing another classic review for you guys. I'm loving digging into the old pile of anime, that backlog of just old school 80s, 90s anime. I'm enjoying digging into it. Oh, first of all, hope everyone's doing well. Make sure I get it out the way. Yeah, I'm just loving digging into this pile of anime. I've watched so much anime from the 80s to 90s, even some stuff from the 70s. That it's amazing what you can find. And today I'm talking about one that I randomly came across recently, and I watched it and loved it, and that is Cyberteam In Akihabara. Whew, where do I start with Cyberteam? Cyberteam Akihabara is basically what you get if you take a little bit of Chobits, throw it in the pot. Take a little bit of Pokemon, throw it in the pot. A dash bit of Gundam, throw it in the pot. Also a little bit of Digimon, throw it in the pot. And kind of cook it all together, you get Cyberteam In Akihabara. That is what you get. Because I'll just read you guys the premise of Cyberteam, and then I'll go from there with my explaining. The premise of Cyberteam is this. And sorry if you hear me clicking a little bit, I'm going back and forth. The premise is this. It says, a Patapy is a cute mechanical creature which is like a cyber pet. It can eat, sleep, play, and even help out its owners with some stuff. Yeah, just stuff. When Hibari Hanakagoni receives a Patapy from a prince in her dreams, she is thrilled and names it Densuke. When mysterious forces try to steal Densuke, Hibari discovers that Densuke is not just an ordinary Patapy. Densuke has magical powers that allows it to transform into a powerful cyber fighter who looks like Hibari. Hibari's friends also receive similar Patapys, and together they form, as they say in the show, Cyberteam In Akihabara. That's how they say it every time. That's the thing. That's how they say that. It's Cyberteam In Akihabara. Okay, so see what I'm saying there? It transforms into a Gundam, sort of like, and it's sort of a digital pet, Digimon. They're a team. Like it's a little bit of everything. But weirdly enough, and Cyberteam came out in 98. It came out in 98. It was 26 episodes. Yeah. So, yeah, it came out in 98. Cyberteam is not great. It's not great, but it's also not bad. Like, it has moments where it's just really, really good. And weirdly enough, the comedy in the show is brilliant. The show is great for comedy. Sorry guys, I was checking my phone there. The phone, well, not the phone. The show is great comedy wise. It's also has a bit of Kinro mosaic, even though Kinro is just a few years ago. Because it has that premise of just cute girls doing cute things with their Patapys. That's most of, like, the first, maybe not the first half, but the first probably episodes 1 through maybe 6. That's what it is. It's them with their Patapys doing cute girl things, and then the Patapys almost get taken, they fight, and that's it. That's the whole premise of that first half of the show. Pretty much, it's just that. And as you see, Hibari, she's the main character, and she has a Patapy Densuke, and then her she has 4 friends. She has 2 friends, and then there's a third girl, and then they add a 4th girl at the end. There is, let me see, I have the names up here. Of course I don't have them in order. Anyway, okay, there is Kimone. Kimone, she comes in later, about maybe around episode 4 or 5. She's from the country, and she sounds very country. As someone who lives in the South, she sounds very country. I'm from Georgia. She sounds Texas country. And they bring her in, and she's the granddaughter of the older guy who's in town. There's this old man in town who is just a perv. Now, granted, Hibari, Kimone, all of them, they're between the ages of 13 and 14. Illegal. But he loves to run around town, lift up their skirts, and telling them what color panties are for the day. That's just kind of his thing. So she's his granddaughter, and she comes to town basically to join with Hibari and them, and kind of because she knows about the Caterpies and about them transforming and fighting. Because at this point when she comes in, Hibari and them, the Caterpies have transformed a few times, but they didn't know what was going on. It was just kind of like, okay, this is a thing. And it happens. They kind of talk about it, dismiss it, and keep going, because there are these 3 girls, aka Team Rocket, who come in and try to take the Caterpies each episode. That's sort of what they do. The name of the group is Death Crow. No, it's not Death Crow. One of the villains is named Death Crow. Miyami, she's one of the villains. Her villain name is Death Crow. She's a graduate student, and then by night she's Death Crow. Then there is Hatoke, who is a idol singer in Akihabara, and strangely enough, she is the favorite singer of Hibari's friend Tsugame. Tsugame loves Hatako. She won't admit that she loves her, but she does. And she loves all her songs, and she knows the dance moves, she knows all the lyrics, everything. But she won't admit it. And she doesn't know until later on that Hataku is also Dark Pigeon from the group that tries to take their Caterpies. And then there's last one, who is sort of like the main one of the group, and that's June. She's an office lady. By night, she's Blood Falcon, a part of this trio of women who are very Team Rocket-ish, because they pop up and say, we're taking your Caterpies. They fight, and of course they get defeated in some weird funny way. They take off, Caterpies are safe. And we do this on and off for about 5 or 6 episodes, and then we get a backstory on the 3 women, actually, because they actually hang out outside of just being villains at nighttime. They're friends during the daytime also. And we get a backstory because just a quick moment here, it's a very good episode where you get a backstory and you understand how all 3 women came to be part of this group and how they all met. They all met at this hot springs. Each one was in a different section of the hot spring, and they ran into this character who is Takashi, aka Shooting Star. He is a clone of the White Prince, another character, and he's kind of like the villain of this group. He's the head of this group. All 3 women are in love with him, and they all look up to him as their leader. At Hot Springs, he met each woman individually without them seeing him, and he talked to them and kind of coerced them into joining his group, and that's how they became part of this trio. But it's a very good episode. It's an episode that you get to see each woman a little deeper than just being a villain. You get to see who they are outside of that, and what they do for a job or as a student. And it's a really in-depth episode. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, back to Hibari's friends. Was like I said, Tsugame, and then there's Suzume. Suzume is rich. She's rich. Her dad's rich. She has a big house, the butler, all that kind of stuff. And she talks. I'll just say it's kinda Yoda-ish. Yoda. She is not necessarily talks backwards, but she just says things like okay, like it's the sun shining right now. She'll say, "Oh, the sun is shining very bright. Yes, it is indeed." And it's like, well, yeah, it is shining bright. Indeed it is, I guess. And she'll say things like that. It's like, indeed it is, and it's like, well, yeah, I guess. And she's kind of awkward that way, but she's snooty and stuck up, but she's also very nice. It's like, because she's snooty and stuck up, but it's not on purpose. Like, she didn't mean to be stuck up and snooty. She just is. It's like in her mind, part of being rich is just being snooty and kind of stuck up. But she's a very sweet person. She just kind of does it and says things without meaning it, and it just happens. And she just brushes off, and everybody else kind of brushes off, and like, it's just her. They get mad, but it's just her. And then the last girl that comes in at the very in the middle of the season, maybe episode around, I don't know, something between maybe 15 and 20, she comes in, and that's Tsubame. Tsubame is your typical character who was raised by the evil people. She has no emotions. She was taught to have no emotion as a little girl. She was taught, you do what you have to do to get the job done. Do not get attached to anything or anyone. And she has a pedigree also, but her pedigree looks a little different because all pedigrees are a goldish brown color, but hers is kind of purplish white, and it's an evil pedigree. And that's sort of her mind frame. She's just that character. No emotions, no feelings, no nothing. She doesn't cry. She barely talks. What she does is just one or two words at a time, and that's pretty much it. So yeah. So that's all the characters. And so I'll get kind of into the gist of what happens. Like I said, for the first couple episodes, it's just them fighting the trio and the Penelope's evolving and not knowing what's going on. By the time Kamone comes to town, she kind of informs them that, okay, what's going on is your Penelope's are evolving and they can actually fight. And they're like, okay, that kind of makes sense now that you say it, because that's what's been going on. She comes in and she does her thing where she's kind of a con. She tries to make them pay her once or twice just for giving them advice. It's amazing. The comedy in this show is great. And so for a while we do that, get a little backstory here and there. It's just kind of comedy here and there. Then the show starts to get a little bit more serious. Toward the tail end of the series, we get a little more serious. Like I said, Tsubame comes to town. Hibari, being the sweet, just bubbly girl that she is, kind of becomes friends with her. And then the other girls start to get jealous because they're like, okay, she's not hanging out with us anymore. She's not answering our phone calls, nothing. And they're like, okay, this girl's taking up all her time. So they proceed to basically break that relationship up. Break it up, and in turn, they attempt to sort of turn Tsubame against them, and they kind of try to battle her. And it's like, it's basically, they tell Hibari it's her or us. And she's pretty torn because on one end she has this girl who has no one, no friends, no family, nothing. And Hibari's all she has, technically. Then you have these friends that she's grown up with saying that you're throwing away everything for her. And it's a really good episode. It's one of the first episodes that really makes Hibari, it makes you think that if you're in a situation where your friends told you to either let them go or let the person you're hanging out with now go. And it can be a little hard decision to make. So later on we start to find out more about what's going on, and that's when we get introduced to Crane, aka the White Prince. Now the White Prince is the one who comes to Hibari in a dream and gives her the Penelope, which is how this all gets started. And now I mentioned not Hatari, Takashi earlier. Takashi is actually a clone of Crane, of the White Prince. He's the evil version of the White Prince. So we find out that Crane was actually raised by this man who was supposed to be his father. We find out later on, though, the father actually died. This man raised Crane because he knew Crane was a genius and he knew Crane was smart. He knew he was smart, so he decided to... Sorry guys, my phone keeps going off. It's Nancy. He raised Crane basically to say that, you know, I'm your father, I'll love you, and he basically just uses him. He uses him to get things done, to make things, and then during a few episodes, Crane finds out he's really not his father. And once he finds out, he cuts Crane off completely. Cuts him off, tells him he was nothing to him ever, he never meant anything to him, and just basically pushed him to the side like he was trash. But here's the kicker. Crane, he's not that he's evil, but he's not necessarily nice either. We find out that he actually sent these girls to Earth. Hibari, Kagome too. Kagome, Suzume, and Hibari. And maybe Tsubame, I can't remember for sure, but definitely those four. He sent them there sorta like angels, kind of. He sent them down to Earth to kind of make things better, because he could tell things weren't going well on Earth. So he sent them down to make things better. And at this point, he wasn't happy with what was going on, and things still were getting worse. And he basically told them, you have to come back home now. It's no decision. That's it. I'm bringing you back with me. And he was just going to rip them apart from their family, from their friends, and just say, come on, you're coming. No debate. And so Hibari was like, she didn't want to go. Her parents are here on Earth. She didn't want to go. But she was like, okay, well, he's telling me things will be better there. He's my prince. Because the whole premise of the show is her trying to find her prince. They mentioned it a few times. She talks about finding her prince, finding her prince, finding her prince. And so she finally finds the prince, and she's like, well, okay, he wants me to go with him. Why shouldn't I? He gave me this pedipede. He gave me this power. Why shouldn't I go? And so she sort of convinces her friend that they should also go. And they're like, well, why not? Things can't be terrible where we're going, so why not go? So around episode maybe 22, 23, 24, we start building up to this. The man who is evil, he starts trying to destroy the town, shooting things down. They're fighting big time. And the guy he was actually working for turns on him. And you find out something about him that you didn't know before either. I won't spoil that, but you find something about him that you didn't know also. So at this point, we're getting ready for them to get ready to go. And Hibari, her dad goes out, he gets drunk, he doesn't come back home. Her mom's crying, she don't want to lose her daughter. And Hibari's like, you know what? No, I'm not going. My life is here. I've got friends, I've got family, I've got school, I've got people I love in this town. I'm not going anywhere. Kagome, Sugami, and also Tsubame also come to the same conclusion that they're not going anywhere. They don't want to go. If he wants to fight this moment, he's welcome to it. And he does. He tells them, it's my way or the highway. You have no choice. It's like, I am the quote-unquote god of this, and how dare you tell me you're not going to come with me? And he basically puts his foot down and says, you're coming. They refuse, and they proceed to fight. But what he does is he tells them that I created the Patapes, and no matter how well you think you know them, how much you've trained them and raised them, they belong to me. He turns the Patapes on the girls, and they proceed to fight their owners. And it turns into this big, long battle. But, of course, the power of love prevails. they reach the hearts of the Caterpies and realize that they've raised them, and that these are really their parents almost. These are like their mothers, and they've raised them and they've cared for them, and they can't destroy that. And so the Caterpies decide to sacrifice themselves, and they go in their place with the White Prince. He takes the Caterpies back to where he's going, which is, they don't quite explain it. It's sort of in the universe, not necessarily another planet, just kind of in the universe. And he takes them back with him, and they stay on Earth. So time passes by. I think it's somewhere between maybe 3 to 5 years passes by. Everything's kind of back to normal, but they don't have their Caterpies anymore. And then something happens, and the White Prince sees the error of his ways, and he's willing to wait a little more time to give the Earth time to get better and take care of itself. And he gives the Caterpies back to each girl, and that's how it ends. It ends in a sweet manner, and that's Cyberteam. My question always was, which I guess the answer, because he created those Caterpies and he created those girls, was why every Caterpie wasn't able to transform. And that explains it, I guess. But still, I would have thought that maybe some reason others couldn't and those could. But yeah, that's in a nutshell Cyberteam In Akihabara. It's a show that's mostly comedy, but when it gets serious, and they do a good job of giving you backstory on different characters. Like I said, you do get a backstory on Tsubame, you get a backstory on the White Prince, and you get backstory on all 3 villain girls. So they do a good job of giving you a little more depth than what you think you would get. It is dubbed, so you can watch it dubbed. I watched it on Kiss Anime. So if it's a good anime that you can turn on and just watch in the background without having to pay too much attention to it until later on. I would actually recommend it. I think I would have to give it a, let me see, on my anime list now. I think I have it on my list already. I don't actually. Shocking. Okay, I don't feel like logging in right now. But I would give it a fair 7 out of 10. I think that's fair. I think a 7 out of 10 is fair. The characters are all lovable and just they're all just fun. I think I'll just say it. Suzume has to be my favorite. Suzume, because she's so rich, and she's just her personality is just her own. Kagome I love because she's country to the bone, and I can respect that because I'm country myself, and I can respect it. And she owns it, and she just does not care. That southern swag is all the way to level 10, and I absolutely love it. I love it. So those 2 are definitely my favorite. Yeah, it's a weird show, definitely. Might I add the opening? The opening is amazing. Oh, the opening is amazing. But it's a very weird show. It's funny. It's serious. And for a 90s show, granted it is late 90s, so they were already they were getting into that zone of more depth into the animes. But for a 90s show, out of all the ones I've seen lately, it's got the most depth to it. Because I've seen some that had just nothing. They were just dead shows. But it definitely had more depth to it, and I would recommend it. I would definitely recommend it. I think if you go into it with an open mind, you'll enjoy it. Like I said, it gets a little fuzzy in there sometimes, but it's a very solid anime. I say give it a watch. It is 26 episodes. I will say it is 26. And while that's not a lot, at times it felt, by the time you get to episode about between 14 and 20, it starts to feel a little draggy. It's like, okay, let's pick it up here and let's kind of go. But other than that, it's a solid anime. I definitely recommend it. Like I said, Kiss Anime I know has it. I'm sure it's online somewhere else. But yeah, I definitely recommend it. That is Cyberteam In Akihabara. That's my review. Thank you guys for watching so much. Don't hold me to this because I'm really new editing and everything. I'm going to try to insert some clips in certain areas where I say certain things and show you guys certain clips from the show. I may not get them in there in time because I'm not 100% sure on what I'm doing, but I'm definitely going to try. So if they're not in this episode, they'll be in my next review. So yeah. So thank you guys for listening. I'm done rambling. Thank you guys for listening or watching. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Give me a like. If you've seen this show, comment below and tell me what you thought about it. And if you have any recommendations, as long as it's from the 70s up, even 60s, I don't care. If it's black and white, I'll watch it all. So any recommendation for any anime, I'll watch it and I'll give a review. Thank you guys for watching, and as we say here, Maho out.